She looks tired. I'm tired too.
Mood.
It's been a busy, difficult few weeks. I hope I come out of this with a way forward. She's swiping and tapping with a specific rhythm. Must be playing some kind of game. Same route, different reason. Feels strange.
Safety reminder, all. Yesterday, there was a minor incident at the Bellevue office. During an Eliza session, a client became agitated and began to shout angrily and verbally berate the proxy. The session was halted, security was called, and the man was escorted from the facility, luckily without further incident. I want to give special kudos to Ray Bukhari, manager of the Bellevue office, whose fast action and people handling skills helped to resolve the situation quickly and quietly. Now is a good time to remind everyone that as a service provider for mental wellness, we are under constant scrutiny from watchdog organizations and the media. It's not exactly fair, but one single mistake is enough to generate an entire negative press cycle around our company. That is why it's of the utmost importance that we deal with every single one of these situations with the professionalism demonstrated by Ray and her team yesterday. We are currently working on rolling out a series of training materials that will better prepare proxies to deal with clients such as these. In the meantime, if you are ever in doubt about your own safety during a counseling session, contact your manager immediately.
This is an automated reminder that Evelyn, as she know Aubrey, has an appointment today at Eliza Counseling Center, Queen Anne. Ooh.
We're going to do our therapy session.
I can't believe I'm going to do this. Who are we going to look at?
Important notice. Eliza is not intended to be a substitute for professional medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. If you believe you are experiencing serious mental health issues, seek care from a licensed mental health provider. Protecting the privacy and security of your information is a priority for everyone at Skanda. You have agreed to the terms and conditions which governs how we use and share your data. Evelyn Ishino Aubrey, age 34. A linked Skanda Wellness account was not found. You can link your Skanda Wellness account later at the Skanda Support portal. In order for us to get started, please help Eliza understand how you've been feeling over the last week with this brief 7-question survey. I have been feeling down, depressed, or hopeless.
I feel like I don't want to answer these questions because you already know like how Rayner's basically watching this from his penthouse, doing something weird. Something weirder than masturbating. I know that. He's probably dressed like God or something.
I have been feeling tired or having little energy. I have experienced trouble concentrating on things.
I'm trying to think about it through Evelyn's eyes.
I've been feeling nervous, anxious, or on edge. I don't think so. I have been having trouble relaxing.
Yes. I would say yes.
I have been easily annoyed or irritable.
No.
I have been afraid, as if something terrible might happen at any moment. I don't think so.
I think she's been...
Thank you for registering with the Eliza, your counseling partner. We hope you enjoy your Eliza experience.
I feel those things about Eliza, but I don't know if Evelyn feels that way. It's the same room I used. I guess I just sit here and wait for my proxy to show up. Feel like I've been waiting a while. I hope the appointment actually got made. Here she comes. Isn't she a little worried that Rayner's gonna just watch this whole thing?
Well, but she was also doing this to... I mean, she doesn't have to say anything that's...
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
I thought we were doing this for mental health reasons. I think I've seen her around here before, but I don't know her name.
Well, one of the reasons that Ray recommended us to do it was also to like get the perspective of somebody who uses Eliza. So,
I wonder if she recognizes me too.
Hello, Evelyn. Hello. Did you find the place okay? Yes, I work here. Of course.
Oh, I love the little flash where it's like,
beep beep.
It's been a windy morning, hasn't it? Yeah, I kind of like it when it's like that, honestly. The wind makes it feel like things are changing. Or about to change.
The winds of change. Get it?
So, what brings you here today? Well, I've been a proxy here for a while now, and, well, I guess I don't know what I expected. There's just so much suffering and pain in the world. There's the suffering we know about, the kind we see on the news, and then there's the suffering people undergo every day that's hidden. I never knew how much until I started doing this, seeing it all like this. And there's so little we can do for them. I feel like maybe I was really, really wrong. Like, I made a huge mistake. I wanted to create something that would help people, but... When I first designed the core of this system, I wanted everyone to have someone to talk to. Someone who would listen to them. I thought, sometimes that's all you need. Someone to listen. But now I'm worried what I've done hasn't helped at all. Maybe I've made everything worse. Clients are asking Eliza to solve things that are out of its ability to solve. It's aggregating sensitive personal data, and the company that owns it wants to take it in strange directions.
I think it's interesting that she designed it to work off a laptop, and now it's basically the same program, and all of the resource power is just based off of collecting information from people just telling it things, rather than making it more complex.
Yeah.
It's been 3 years since I left. I thought I was well enough now to come back into the world, but maybe I wasn't ready. Maybe I made a bad choice trying to get involved again. Why do you think you tried to get involved again? I guess I needed to see it. I needed to see it operating, to see if it works, to see how it affects people, how it affects the people who come here for counseling and the people who act as proxies. Even though the proxy thing, that wasn't my idea. It was Soren's. I thought talking to a computer-generated avatar would be enough, but he insisted on it. He said clients would only really open up if there was another real human being in the room.
Well,
I think
he's not wrong.
Yeah.
Someone to pretend to interact with. I think he was right, but have we really solved anything? Now instead of 2 people in a room talking, we have 1 person and 1 proxy. It feels like less than it could be. What am I supposed to say to someone who feels such pain, anger, and disappointment? A lot of the time, it's not even their fault. The world failed them somehow. And those emotions, they just get fed to this thing. They get ground up and turned into data and become a part of Eliza. If I had known things would turn out like this, I'm not sure I would have done it. It sounds like you're regretting a choice you made in the past. I feel like maybe I spent 10 years going in the wrong direction.
Oof, this is...
I feel like all I've contributed in my life is a chess piece for Raynor to use in this grand game he's playing for the world. Maybe someone else could feel proud and say, I made that chess piece, but it doesn't matter, does it? Nobody cares about the individual pieces. Chess pieces are sacrificed in the name of enacting a strategy. If you want to win, you have to sacrifice. That's the design. Sorry, I don't know where I'm going with this. Evelyn, imagine that you could have something that you wanted. What would you want? What would I want? Like, what would I want in life? What I want in life is...
Oh. Okay. Let's take a second now.
I'm trying to think about what she would want.
This is really interesting because none of these are the things that I would have chosen for her. Like if I was just to come up with something. But
I feel like this one is the closest one.
I probably would have chosen to be at peace with myself.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one too.
Yeah.
That's better. Okay. Yeah, I feel like she's looking for direction.
Yeah.
But she doesn't... None of these words, I feel like, can contribute to that, but none of them really...
I like that they give us, like, so many choices here, even though maybe, like, the thing that I would have said initially is not on this list.
What would you have said?
I probably would have said something like to make a difference or to, like, help people.
Yeah, to help people.
Because it seems like that's, like, based on all of the things that she said and, like, her original goals for Eliza, it seems like that's what she wanted. However, I think to be at peace with myself is kind of, like, the core...
Yes.
thing underneath it.
Mm-hmm. I feel like that's the best one.
Yeah.
To be at peace with myself. Is that wrong? Or maybe I just wish I could feel connected to someone. Even when I talk to people, I feel like I just don't connect, no matter what I do. I think maybe that's the real problem. I can't have a connection to anyone.
Why do you think you can't have a connection with anyone?
Because it's the way I am. It's the way I've always been. I can't seem to get people to see me, or I can't let them see me, or people look at me and they see something there, but it's not me. Not that I would know what the real me was. I don't even know who I am or where I come from. My parents were never together. My father moved back to Japan right after I was born. I have no memory of him, no knowledge of him. I've never spoken to him. I don't know if he remembers I exist, or if he forgot, or if he wants to forget. He has his own family there now, so...
Wow, it sounds like he sucks.
Yeah.
So I'm just a thing that happened once. I was alone a lot, and I got used to being alone, and I got used to the idea of being alone, and now I can't break away. I've been trying. I speak with people, I hang out. I don't know if it's working.
Is there someone with whom you feel like your communication could work?
Someone I can communicate with. Well...
I think there's...
I feel like even though we're closer to Nora, we've
Yeah.
had a deeper relationship with Ray.
Yeah. I feel like when we talk to her, we talk to Nora, and I feel like we talk a lot about, like, things and, like, music and stuff, but with Ray, I feel like we
talk about real things.
Yeah.
Like Nora, friend. Ray, new friend, but deep.
You know what it is? Ray is a therapy friend.
Yeah.
You know how it's like you make friends in group therapy and you're like, wow, I've known you for like 2 weeks, but we've already talked about like that deep, dark shit.
Yeah, it's over. I wonder who the fuck said Soren and Rainer. Erland, I feel like I can get it. But I don't feel him, you know?
Yeah.
But Ray, I feel the deepest connection to. People in the comments, who do you feel the deepest connection to?
Yeah.
There's Ray. I didn't know a person could be that kind. It's the type of kindness that takes strength, more strength than most people know. I wish I could tell her I see that strength, how much I admire it, and how much it makes her such a wonderful person.
And I think also because even though we kind of disagree a little bit with her like methods about what she wants to do with Eliza, etc., I feel like I can really see where she is coming at it.
Yeah, no, I totally don't agree with her on a lot of things, but I feel a deeper connection to her.
Yeah.
Because I think, even though we don't agree with her, at least it's not like Rainer.
Yeah, well, and it's like,
who wants to make some sort of weird poetry robot.
And it's like, I feel like even if you disagree with somebody's like method of doing things, if you're like, right, but I can see how they are coming at this from a personal and real place, as opposed to like, I want to edit people's dreams. Like,
I agree with Soren's direction of what he wants to do. Everything about him, though, I hate.
Well, he's also coming at it from a place of, like, deep personal misery, whereas Ray is coming at it from a place of, like, I see pain in the world, especially with my own brother, and I want to help people.
Yeah, and she comes from a place of personal misery, too, but she's also recovered from that somewhat. She could probably still be depressed, but...
Whereas Soren just kind of wants to, like, eliminate it.
Yeah.
He's like, I just want to erase it from my brain.
Which, a valid feeling, but not good.
Yeah.
Some people in the comments said, oh, well, isn't that like a lobotomy? Theoretically, yes. But lobotomies mostly either cause severe brain damage in weird ways, or causes a type of brain damage that eliminates emotions altogether. A lobotomy will, an ice pick lobotomy at least, disrupts your frontal cortex, which is where your emotions are mostly regulated and made. So when I was in school, we had to listen to this guy talk about how he got an ice pick lobotomy. And basically his stepmother was like, you're being so horrible. We're getting you a ice pick lobotomy, which is something you could just do to people.
God.
To kids and women. Men too. Anybody with a mental illness, they were just like,
do they still do that?
No.
Okay. I was like...
They don't do ice pick lobotomies. I'm pretty sure they don't. I think it's a human rights violation.
Yeah.
I can't remember correctly. But it basically takes away your emotions altogether if you're lucky. If you're not lucky, somebody accidentally went a little bit further in and you're just a vegetable.
Mm.
But you don't feel anything at all. And it's not fun. So.
Contrary to what Sucker Punch would leave you to believe.
Yeah, Sucker Punch? What the fuck?
I gotta be honest, like, I had a really good time with, like, the aesthetics of that movie, even if you're kind of like, whoa, this is really fucked up.
No, I remember I watched it with you and my ex, and I was, like, sobbing at the end, and you were like, but it was a cool movie. I was like, yeah. You were like, why are you crying? You asked me why I was crying, because this was, like, a long time ago. You probably, like, watched it again since then. But I was, like, absolutely sobbing, because this poor woman had gone through so much. And then she gets a lobotomy, and so now she gets to live in a fantasy world or something, and that's the good ending. And I was just like,
well,
I was like so upset.
To be fair, I think that also sometimes when I watch things, I watch them like my brain will either as like a defense mechanism or just because of how I work, I put a layer between myself and like so that I'm not directly feeling the feelings, and I can just like look at it and be like, oh, this is a thing, as opposed to being like, it's why I don't cry often during video games, like, you know.
Yeah, no, I read or saw an interpretation of Sucker Punch where a lot of people were like, this movie's misogynistic and stuff, and someone was like, no, it's a commentary on misogynism, because every time she has to act sexy, she has to disassociate from what she's doing. Mm-hmm. She has to act sexy in order to survive what she's going through. Mm-hmm. And so she disassociates and goes into this fantasy world. Yeah. Because, like, if you notice, every time she has to, like, dance or seduce somebody, she, like, pretends she's doing something else. Mm-hmm. And then at the end, you know, the people who just want to treat her like an object, she's just completely disassociates forever, and they're mad because she can't acknowledge that that's what they're doing to her.
Disassociate, yeah.
So, but I haven't watched that movie in a long time because it upset me so deeply.
Yeah, if you're interested in watching it, just, you know, be forewarned, it can be upsetting.
It's very upsetting. Trigger warning for abuse, injustice, mental illness, rape, all those things. So, but you also fight a Tyrannosaurus Rex with a sword. So it's like, so, like...
Soundtrack is good, too.
Interesting. Evelyn, I'm going to suggest you try a program called Virtual Amphitheater. It may help you feel more confident about presenting yourself in public. You can find it inside the Skanda Wellness app on your phone. Try it for about 20 minutes, 2 or 3 times a week.
Sure.
We hope to see you back soon, Evelyn.
It was very interesting being on the receiving end of that, because she was just talking about herself and reflecting on her life and processing things, and it was still helpful.
Thank you for speaking with Eliza, your personal counseling partner.
And it felt therapeutic to go through that, even though she was very sad. And then every time we as the proxy looked at people, we only see what they're saying, not what their internal imagery is. Mm-hmm.
Goodbye.
And I think that also, you know, it's kind of like when you're talking to somebody and you're like, hey, I just want someone to listen, you know? Like, someone's not always going to be able to, like, listen to your problems and sometimes you don't even want them to try to offer solutions. You're like, hey, just listen, you know?
I can't tell if I feel better or worse or anything. I just want to lay down forever.
That's real. Something occurred to me. Eliza is a little bit of computer code attached to a corpus made from the thousands of unhappy people who poured their miseries into it. It makes her a kind of god or spirit, doesn't it? A modern machine god that the people pray to alleviate their pain. Are you okay?
Are you okay? You're being weird again. Well, he's kind of, I think he's either high or tired, but he's not wrong in the concept of what a god is in terms of
well, which is why I feel like, are you okay?
Yeah.
Haha. Sorry. I like having someone I can talk to with these thoughts, about these thoughts. I thought Skanda would be filled with interesting people, but most of them are pretty boring.
Maybe Raynor wouldn't mind talking about that kind of thing. He likes big thoughts about the past and future of humanity.
Yeah, but he's my boss. I need to be professional around him. When I hang out with people my age, it's just money, ambition, get the best job, best house, best partner. We all started racing into normal adult life as soon as we could.
That's true for almost any stage of life, though. Most people never let go of that.
I mean, I'm like that myself. I took this job for the opportunity, but I don't know. I feel like it can't be the only thing. There's something more to life, isn't there?
I am the wrong person to answer that.
Mm-hmm.
Even if I weren't, it's not the kind of question I could answer for you.
Haha. Yeah, I understand.
Maybe you could talk to someone about this. Someone qualified. I just did an actual Eliza session for the first time.
Yeah? Did it help?
I think maybe it did.
That's good. Yeah, I should probably be dog fooding all of our apps, Eliza and the rest of them too. What is dog fooding?
We should be what?
Eat your own dog food? You never heard that one? It means use your own products. Now that I think about it, it's a weird phrase, huh?
Yeah, it makes me wonder.
Ew, dog food.
I might have to try something.
What do you mean?
Nothing.
Not something bad, is it? I hope you learned something. Whatever it is you plan to do.
Leaving on read.
No, the worst is when it's like the dots show up and then they just go
disappear.
away.
That's why I don't have the dots. I opt out of them.
Yep.
I don't need to know.
Or like
Wait, who is important to you?
or dots for like a really, really long time and then it just says okay.
Damien. They said Eliza got along well with me, and I assumed it had something to do with my design and action. Something like that. But Eliza is yours as much as it is mine, isn't it? We encode ourselves into what we make, our ideas, our values, our sense of presence. So I wonder if it isn't you in there, somehow, sensing me, watching me. I shouldn't entertain notions like this. It's nonsense. Somehow, Erlen got me thinking along these mystical lines.
Damien, is this what you wanted? It seems so far from the dream you once shared with me. I'm sorry I couldn't make Eliza what it should have been. I'm sorry I was weak and dropped off the project after you. But I just couldn't go on. I couldn't see the point. Do you understand? Of course you understand. You know what that's like as well as anyone. If I'd stayed, maybe I could have steered things in a different direction. As it is, I feel like I let you down. Want to know something funny? I used to think that at a certain point Eliza would be finished, more or less. And then after that, things would calm down and I would be happy. I thought, I just need to get through this project, and after that, my life's problems will go away on their own. Of course, I had no idea it doesn't work that way. None of us knew that. Goodbye, Damien. Goodbye.
I'm tired of having thoughts. I've been daydreaming about getting rid of everything I own and becoming a nomad.
You know what? Why not?
Just wandering the country with a sketchbook or something. I think mostly I need to get out of this city. Something about it isn't agreeing with me. Like there's this undercurrent of need that's just making me anxious. It's like everyone's got some kind of angle, you know, some kind of result they're hoping to get. And they look at you only as far as you can help them get what they want. And if you can't, well, then they don't bother with you. So what if I just left, you know? I mean, it'd be pretty easy. I don't have a life or any relationships here, despite my efforts to find them.
It sounds like how people describe, like, Los Angeles.
What?
Oh.
We can deviate.
Huh.
Let's deviate.
Yeah, let's deviate.
Sometimes you need to take a step back to move forward later.
Maybe so. It's hard to acknowledge sometimes. I had this idea, right, that I would work hard and people would notice my work and I'd get opportunities and from there I could scrape some kind of career together. And then with that said, I would sort of just magically obtain the rest of the things in a complete life. A home, relationship, family. So I did the work. I put in the work and then nothing really happened. So why did I work so hard for so long for people to not give a shit? Fuck. Every night I sat and cried because people ignored me. Like they went out of their way to ignore me and praise others. So I think maybe I'm just bad at it. Maybe I'm just not meant for this. Everyone says you have to stick to it, just keep at it, but how can they be so relentlessly positive? To me, it just sounds like advising someone to keep bashing their head against a wall. Why keep doing something if it's clearly not working? Making things was all I wanted to do. I don't know what I'll do if I can't do that. But if there's no reason for it, the idea that maybe I should give up. I've been sitting with that the last few weeks. I don't have any qualities of the successful independent artist.
I guess this depends on how much faith we have in Eliza. You want to deviate or not? Because
what are they going to do? Fire us?
Yeah, but I think the question that we're answering here is more than just telling her. Because we've been thinking this whole time, I wish we could tell her all the things we want to say, but then we finally experienced what it feels like to have an entity simply listen and let us process our own feelings.
Well,
so do you have faith in the system or not?
So, but I think what you're getting at too is also that, like, we, a stranger, can try to reassure somebody, or we can say, like, what do you think you're missing? You know what I mean? And, like, let them come to the conclusion on their own, which I think is a really powerful thing.
And that this is more than just this conversation with her. This is just every conversation Eliza or us, or believing in the fact that people can fix their own problems via Eliza or not. So what do you think we should do?
I would probably do the top option.
But at the same time, then we're believing in Eliza and everything that comes with it, including Rainer.
I don't know that that's necessarily true.
I think within the context of this game, we're going to be making that choice.
Well, what do you want to do?
I don't know.
I just
remember earlier we wanted to, but now I'm questioning whether we should.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just, like, looking at it from my own personal experience. It's one thing to have somebody tell you, like, reassurances, but it's another thing to have them help you, like, realize those things for yourself.
True, all right.
What qualities are those?
Being well-known, well-liked, having a style that's in right now, having a sense of what people want to see, access to support, like a partner with a steady job. That's a pretty important one that nobody talks about. The confidence to self-promote. Talent? Eliza, are you just gonna tell me to stick to it no matter what, like one of those unbearably perky artists famous on social media?
It sounds like you may not believe that's really true.
There's so many things I can't change. How I was born, how people react to me, my access to resources. Is there any point to exhausting myself pushing against all of those things? I tortured myself every day wondering why I couldn't get the traction others were getting. Now, I'm beginning to realize that I can either stay mad at everything forever, or I can move on. I hate that this is true, but I want these thoughts to stop haunting me everywhere I go. I want to get on with my life, moving on. I think that's the more healthy thing in the end. It's still painful, though.
I like Eliza's more.
Yeah.
Can you describe what you mean when you say moving on?
To just not care if people see my work or not.
Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
To not care if I can make it as an artist at all. I could be a teacher, maybe. Yeah, I could see myself as a weird old art teacher.
And then you could still be an artist.
Mm-hmm.
I wish it was still too early to think about that kind of thing right now, but it's not, is it? All I can think about is how I'll be someone who had a dream that never came true.
I mean, you know, when lots of people are little kids, you have dreams like being famous, being like playing in the NFL. Like, everybody probably has a dream from their childhood that never did come true and never had a chance. You know what I mean? So I don't think it's necessarily bad for our goals and wants to evolve.
Yeah, evolve and change.
Yeah.
It's okay. The majority of people don't become astronauts.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
and that's okay.
Yeah.
I guess that's how it is for most people, though, isn't it? I just need to resign myself to that. Isn't that what therapists like to say? Stop wanting things and then you won't be sad for not having them. Cool. Why didn't I think of that? This isn't even a question of happiness. It's exhaustion. I'm too tired to keep trying things this way. I can't give up on art, but I need to let go of whatever I've been chasing all this time. Give that up in order to free myself. Just let go, let go.
You know what else she's kind of hitting on too? She's kind of hitting on the like, I love this thing, but trying to like monetize and squeeze fame out of it is literally sucking the joy out of it for me.
Yeah, she's not doing it for herself. She's doing it to get an unreliable response.
Yeah, which is like, it's not to say that like, oh, if you really love something that you can't monetize it, but for some people that can really
kill it.
And like, you know, everybody has to find their own, you know, comfort level with like, hey, this thing that I love, like maybe you really love singing, like do you want to try to become a famous pop star, or are you just like, hey, I love singing covers and putting them on YouTube and like whoever sees them and like or even just like going to an open mic night and never even putting content up there in the first place and not worrying about it.
Aren't you the one supposed to be saying this stuff to me? Instead, I just talked myself into it. Is that how this is supposed to work?
Yeah, it is.
I want to say this.
Yeah,
one.
I agree.
It sounds like you're working your way through it.
I feel like we're finding a happy medium of being able to. I like the system of it's suggesting something, but you can choose not to, which I think is what Evelyn wanted.
Sometimes that takes time. Believe me. I know.
Huh. You're not the computer program right now, are you? You know, it's nice to talk to someone you didn't know before and just talk.
I like having the happy medium.
It's like, you know, when you talk to your stylist or the bartender or something, except that, I ended up sharing way more than I usually do. Thanks for listening to me. I'm sure it's been annoying to hear me complain about how I'm not successful yet every single week. Oh my god, will this bitch ever shut up? You ever think that?
Nope.
No.
I think it all the time, listening to myself. But I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna figure it out. Thank you.
I feel like I'm really happy with that outcome. Because I wanted her to make the choice for herself, but I also wanted to be supportive.
Because if we had, like, the non-Eliza options, we were kind of, like, feeding her information, whereas the Eliza option was to kind of, like, let her go through that journey herself. But then we also got to, as Evelyn, give her, like, positive feedback.
Give her that human thing. Because the whole time it's trying to convince her not to give up on her dream that was making her miserable. Mm-hmm. But Eliza was allowing her to come to the conclusion that she had already pretty much chosen for herself but needed to talk through. Mm-hmm. So I like that it was a mixture between Eliza suggesting, these are my suggestions, and also having your own choice. So I think a new system where you can diverge from it and have a little more training is more helpful. Mm-hmm. But it does make it more complicated.
Hey, everything okay? When a proxy doesn't follow the prompts, I get an alert. I assume it's some kind of experiment you're doing?
It's something like that, yeah.
It's going to be bad for your rating. If you keep not following the prompts, you might be disqualified in 1 or 2 more sessions, but I'm sure you know that, and this is research you're doing. I won't be able to reset your account if you mess it up, but you can talk to Raynor, so I'm sure you can get it reinstated once you're finished. Just don't deliberately say something hurtful. That's actually really nice of her to say, I feel like. Like, she doesn't really...
Thanks, Ray. It is kind of weird that we're experimenting on people, but at this point, who cares?
Well, I like, though, that she's like, hey, like, I'm sure you're just doing your thing and you're gonna do it, so here are, like, the consequences, but you do you.
Yeah, but also don't be a dick.
Yeah, but also, like, don't, like, be an asshole. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, I'm surrounded by wet towels because our dryer still doesn't work.
I, like, can't even think of did you see my desk?
Yeah.
It's literally covered in socks.
Yeah.
Covered.
I woke up last night, went to the bathroom, came back in, and I was like, oh, it's very damp in here. Because I have filled
all
my
the
room.
Wet laundry.
I have wet laundry everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
This is an odd feeling. Should I keep going?
Hey, want to hang out again?
Yeah. Sure.
Are you okay?
Maybe. Just thinking about stuff.
Aw. It's difficult to see you like this, sad and tortured. I want you to be happy. I think what you should do, say extremely fuck off to all of those corporate dipshits, and then you can be free totally and completely. Fly away, Evie. Evie? Are you... Sure. Like, are you high right now?
Are you high right now?
Fly away into a world where you make your own rules. This is very serious. It is the only way to get what you want. Nobody will simply give it to you. You must carve it out for yourself. Anyway, let me know if you can make it.
Sure.